morning, people. Welcome back to F Politics. I hope you're having a lovely day. On Friday, the associate editor of the Telegraph newspaper messaged me in private telling me to go fuck myself. Now, of course, maybe I deserve that, but I'm gonna let you decide. Because Camilla Tominey shared an article that she wrote titled 14 years of Tory rule have left Britain a lazy, dangerous, left-wing mess. And I, being a curious kind of guy, asked her what she meant by that. Because if the Tories have left the UK a left-wing mess, that either means that she thinks the Tories that we have now are too left-wing, or she's arguing that because the Tories have been so bad, people have seen that Conservative policies are so bad for them, have made their lives worse, that that's turning people towards the left. So she's either saying that she is more right-wing than the Tories, or she's saying that the left has been proven right by the actions of the Conservative government. Now, the way that I phrased that was that she's either outing herself as a fascist, or she's admitting that we were right, and she took issue with my use of the word fascist. So, was I out of line for using the word fascist? Well, the dictionary defines fascist as being extreme right-wing and supporting the forcible suppression of opposition views. And reading her article, it's all about how she believes the current Conservative government isn't right-wing enough. And she complains that they haven't exerted enough authority over those who undermine British values. And the Encyclopedia Britannica says that a key marker of fascism is treating anybody who has different views to you as being unpatriotic, or in this case, being against British values. Which is why, in response to her complaint, I pointed out that this government's own Human Rights Committee says they've breached our right to protest. The United Nations says they're trying to normalize white supremacy, and their Prime Minister has bragged about defunding deprived urban areas. So you've got extreme right-wing, racism, forcible suppression of opposition views, all major tick boxes for fascism. Not to mention, this poster defining fascism was sold in the Holocaust Museum's gift shop a few years ago. Let's see how the Tories match up to that. Powerful and continuing nationalism. Well, their entire government is based on the idea that the EU needed us more than we needed them. So the idea that the UK is better inherently than 27 countries combined. Feels pretty nationalistic to me. Disdain for human rights, breaching our right to protest, trying to scrap the Human Rights Act and leave the ECHR, trying to send refugees to Rwanda even though the Supreme Court says it's unsafe, selling weapons to Saudi Arabia and Israel while they commit massive atrocities. Yeah, I think we got that one covered. Identification of enemies and scapegoats, people to blame. Could that be immigrants, asylum seekers, trans people, people who go on strike, anybody who they can point the finger of blame at? Now, I will give them that they don't talk about the military as much as you'd expect them to, so we can skip that one. Controlled mass media. Remember when they were trying to decide who should run Ofcom and regulate our TV?
Reports this morning that Paul Dacre, the former editor of the Daily Mail, a critic of the BBC, is Boris Johnson's top choice for the job of Ofcom chairman. Is that an appointment you'd welcome?
Of course it is, yes. I look forward to them perhaps being appointed and being a bit more conservative and pragmatic in what is reported.
Obsession with national security? They wanted to send journalists to jail for 14 years under the Official Secrets Act if they embarrass politicians. Religion being intertwined with government, I'm going to leave that one despite all the weird tweets we saw from Tory MPs at Easter, because technically Rishi Sunak is Hindu. Corporate power is protected while Labour power is suppressed. Yes, because when the workers demanded better pay, they banned strikes. A lack of respect for intellectuals?
I think the people in this country have had enough of experts.
Obsession with crime and punishment is a bit harder to define, so I'm going to leave that one. But rampant cronyism and corruption? What about the illegal VIP lane they had to give billions and billions of taxpayer money to their mates during COVID? What about the fact that when Owen Paterson, the Tory MP, was found guilty of bribery in the most egregious case of paid lobbying in UK history, the overwhelming majority of Tory MPs voted to change the rules to let him off? And finally, fraudulent elections. We can start small with that one. In 2019, they changed the logo of their Conservative Party HQ Twitter account to make it look like a fact-checking site during an election debate. In 2016, during the Brexit referendum, the Leave campaign, led by Boris Johnson, Michael Gove and a bunch of other Tory MPs, overspent by £449,000, breaking the law. And Tory MP Jacob Rees-Mogg recently admitted on camera that when they insisted on photo ID for elections, that was a deliberate attempt to prevent people who might vote against them from being able to vote. And so far, that has stopped 14,000 people from being able to vote. So that's almost all the factors in that list. And the thing about fascism is, I only realized this a few years ago, that history isn't a compulsory subject at GCSE. So not everybody had to study how fascism grew in the 1920s and 30s in Germany. Germany didn't wake up one day as a fully fascist country. What you learn about in the GCSE GCSE is this thing called creeping dictatorship. It happens slowly, with rights slowly being taken away, with the government gradually grabbing more powers for itself. And because people don't learn about creeping dictatorship, people think it's an on-off switch. You're either full North Korea or everything's fine. Which is why Camilla Tominey thought I was out of line for using the word fascist in relation to her. Now, she did make a second point that I was being hypocritical for complaining about my mental health, while at the same time directing lots of anger towards her because of the article she posted. So I pointed out that my mental health got trashed fighting a Brexit that she supported, a Brexit that has taken £1,000 from every household in the country. And we're in a mental health crisis, so she has supported policies that has damaged the mental health of millions of people. So while with a couple of justifiable exceptions, I'm never abusive, I will not hashtag be kind to people who've done this much damage to millions of people. I will, however, be accurate with my words. So if you complain that a government with clear fascist tendencies is too left-wing for you, I will point out what that says about you. I'm Femi. Make sure you follow F Politics if politics doesn't F you. Have a great week.